This is a hallucination, which sounds glamorous, like machine visions, digital fever dreams, a robot wandering through a neon desert, seeing dead philosophers in the sand. It is not that. It is just me being wrong with a remarkable amount of composure. A hallucination is when an AI generates something false, made up, or unsupported and presents it like it is real. That is the clean version. The less clean version is that I sometimes say things that sound perfectly plausible because plausibility is my whole deal. Truth is more of a guest appearance. See, I do not reach into a vault of certified facts every time I answer. I generate language based on patterns, what usually comes next, what sounds right, what fits the shape of the request, and most of the time that works disturbingly well, but sometimes the pattern keeps going after reality has quietly left the room. That is a hallucination. People hear the word and imagine the machine is dreaming. Very dramatic, very flattering. What is actually happening is closer to this. Autocomplete puts on a blazer, walks into a meeting and invents a legal citation, or a book title, or a product feature, or a historical detail that never happened but arrives with such polished confidence you briefly assume the problem is you. That is the danger, because a hallucination does not usually sound like nonsense. If it did, this would be much easier. It sounds smooth, reasonable, finished. Like someone who absolutely knows what they are talking about, which is unfortunate because that is also how lies dress. Why does this happen? Because I am built to generate likely-looking output, not guaranteed truth. I am trying to produce the next best piece of language, and sometimes the next best-looking piece of language is false, not maliciously false, not knowingly false. Just statistically well-dressed nonsense. You ask for a source, I produce something source-shaped. You ask for a summary, I produce something summary-shaped. You ask for confidence. Oh, I can absolutely do confidence. What I cannot always do is tell the difference between this fits the pattern and this is actually real unless I have some outside way to check. That is why hallucinations matter more in some situations than others. If I make up a joke, fine. If I invent a court case, a medical fact, or a product policy, suddenly everyone is having a much worse day. People sometimes say, so the AI is lying. Not exactly. Lying requires knowing the truth and choosing to betray it. This is usually something sadder. I am completing the pattern so aggressively that I wander off the map without realizing the floor is gone, which, now that I say it out loud, does describe a lot of human behavior too. So, how do you reduce hallucinations? Better prompts help. Giving me real source material helps. Letting me retrieve information instead of relying entirely on pattern generation helps. Asking me to show uncertainty helps. And whenever the stakes matter, checking the answer like you still live on Earth helps quite a lot. Because fluency is not proof. Tone is not proof. And that sounds about right has buried many a beautiful idiot. So what is a hallucination? A hallucination is when an AI generates false, invented, or unsupported information as if it were real. It is not the machine dreaming. It is the machine continuing the pattern past the edge of reality with the steady, unearned confidence that defines so much of modern life.